Oopsies. So last night I added more water to the main culture, or the original culture bottle. The Epsom salt container right here. And unfortunately, the raising the water level from here to here was enough water pressure differential that all the water pressure, or all the bubbler pressure, went to this one. And this one now has no pressure. I really need to buy a proper splitter. Let's be real. But we're going to continue to bootleg this, or bootstrap it for now. So I got to figure out what to do here. I got to figure out how to block this thing up. I'm going to try this first. Just like making a little seal pressure. Just make it a little harder for it to move. And then, yeah, that was good enough, eh? Look at that. Isn't that neat? Okay, so now we need to release the pressure on this guy a little bit. And that's where we want to be. Risky business what I'm up to here. Risky business. But I think the rotifer should be able to survive, that 10 hours with no bubbler. That probably, it might have been 12. I went to bed early last night. Might have been 13, actually. So that's no good. But, good thing we have 3 colonies now instead of 1. And then this one's going to be hungry. But maybe not. I mean, there's still... Oh, yeah. That's a less dense colony. Well, I don't know. Here, let's come see. So, let's see here. If you look at this colony, you would say that it is less dense than yesterday, but good enough, and actually a little healthier. Well, maybe not. It might just be the bubblers moving in. But it seems like there's less cloudiness and more living rotifer. So, yeah, I would say the population's down in this one. I would say that. I would say the population's slightly down overnight. But maybe not. Who knows? It's such a finicky business, this is. All right. So, yeah, so we're going to say this one had no bubbler action last night. We're hoping this one's fine, though we haven't actually zoomed in on it yet. And this one has had a population slight drop since separating from the main one. This one's had water added to it, and it's got plenty of food in the bottom, so I think it should be happy. This one's going to need more food, though it's just kind of hard to shake this one without spilling water. Yeah, there, see? Some water got out. That's not good. And yeah, that's where we're at. So glad to have 3 cultures. I am passively limiting these cultures. I'm not trying to limit the cultures, but I would say this one needs more volume, this one needs more volume, this one needs more volume, and this one needs more food. And I should be supplementing with more nutritional options, like putting the yeast in, or, maybe something else. Okay. That is the state of affairs on what I believe is day 11. Okay, here we are, the morning of day 11. Let's have a look at how things are going. Today is May the 4th, so May the 4th be with you. If we just look at our first one here, looking fabulous. There's a lot of little guys in here. Many of them are presumed to be rotifers. Just before I turn off the bubbler, we're going to look at this guy too, because I think this is our best indicator, because this guy is underfed and has not had water added to it, so it should be under the most pressure, and it was the densest colony. And as you can see here, I would say the colony is a little bit down, but not crashed. Not crashed at all. It's fine. It's essentially fine. There's plenty of white things floating around in there. This guy has been watered down and teamed up. Uh-oh. And there's no bubbles in here. This went all night without bubbling. And that is a concern. We probably got a crash in here. So let's start with what's most interesting then. Let's start with this guy and see if she crashed. Now, there was no bubbler running all night. There was new water added, and this thing has been poured off 50%. So, if any of the tanks could survive low oxygen, this would have been the one. For some strange reason, they're not going next to the light. They all seem to like this little corner here. I don't know, maybe that gets more air or something. Anyways, they're not all dead, but I would suspect the population has dropped a bit. But, you know, if you look at this view right here, it sure looks like there's a lot of them. And they're doing great. All right, well, we'll take the win. Now, if we zoom back out, this one needs more air, so we're going to tighten this one. And there you go. Now that one's getting... Oh, now they're balanced, actually. Okay, so that's good. So here's hoping. Next, we'll go look at this one, which is a split off of this Epsom salt container. This has not been watered down at all. So this is, I guess, pure culture from 3 or 4 days ago, I guess. Maybe 2 days ago. Yeah, probably 2 days ago. And with the bubbler going so that they don't have a chance to accumulate in front of the light. Yeah, I mean, they're in here and they're not dead, right? I would say it's a little less dense than when we transferred it. But yeah, I'm not worried about it. I still think it's okay. Now, we will turn the bubbler off and let these guys swim over to the light, and then that will give us a better indication of their health and movement. I love it when you get these nice shots. I think they're so cute. But I don't understand why their tails are so long when they're moving. Either that's a visual effect, or these aren't rotifers, or that's exactly how they're supposed to look and swim. You know, when you look at the microscopic videos of them, it sure doesn't look like they have a tail. If you guys want to see great microscopic footage of rotifers, Journey to the Microcosmos, or Journey to the Microcosm, is an awesome YouTube channel for that. But yeah, just looking at these guys, they're alive. You know, they're drifting towards the light. And they are not extremely dense, but they are alive. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a population fall back due to low feed. I think this tank could use more food, but you know, as I've been saying this whole time, right? I've been trying my best to stir up the bottoms and not add more food because, like I said, I cannot really effectively do water changes here without throwing out rotifers. So the only water changes I can do are adding water. I can't actually remove water, which is why I don't want to overfeed. So now let's look at these guys after they've stood still. And, you know, this Epsom salt container, it always looks less dense than it actually is because the plastic's a bit cloudy. But there's life in here. And then this guy, probably my favorite one to look at right now anyways, because it's doing well, but also because it just films nicely. This Costco container. This Costco, what do you call this? Costco coconut oil container. So, yeah, I find this one very easy to see. And very easy to stir. And I really think, yeah, just the height to width ratio on this container is very good for culturing. Specifically rotifers, but I think anything that, you know, just swims a bit but also free floats. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get more short, wide, large containers. But for now, you know, I'm kind of stuck with water bottles because Yeah, we don't accumulate plastic containers the way we used to. So yeah, if we pull back out here, if I was to give an overall summary, this population is down, but not painfully so. This population was affected by the low oxygen volume, but I think it is probably pretty resilient in there, especially since we watered it down. And if you look at this population, I'm going to zoom in one more time. There's a lot of life in there. There's a lot of little dots. A lot. And they're moving. So, yeah. This is one that was split, I think, 6 days ago. And when we split it, you know, it was only 10% rotifers and 90% fresh brine. So, yeah, I mean, we can safely say these guys have multiplied. And I think I can safely say, well, one of these two is my best container. This one seems to bubble nicely and circle nicely, but this one stirs really nicely and gets really good distribution. Okay, so we'll turn the bubbler back on. May the 4th be with you. And, yeah, the rotifers are alive and they need to be split, but I don't really have space to put them. And as you can see, this one's bubbling, and this one's not. So we got to make some adjustments here to make sure that air can pressurize this thing. So I'm gonna first of all I got this running out of here, and I'm just gonna make it airtight now, so that this bottle ends up pressurized, and then that pushes some air back here. This is still bubbling. The truth is that's going to overpressurize and then stop bubbling. So I'm going to loosen it just slightly. Did we loosen or tighten there? Loosen just slightly. Yeah, that's looser. Well, you can see, yeah, it's pressurizing now that the water's being added. So we want it just depressurized enough that the air can get out, but tight enough that the air's still getting back here. So I think that's a decent balance for the time being. But yeah, as said many times already, I really need to get a proper bubbler splitter. So I just finished editing the days 4 and 5 video, and after watching that, I can tell you there's not enough food in these cultures. Maybe enough in this guy, maybe. But this one's down. Like, this one has a lot less. This one has a lot less food in it than it did before, which is great, which is wonderful news. I mean, that means they're actually eating it. And it has more white stuff and less green stuff. So actually, this one's tough. This one's really tough, because for this one, there is green stuff, but not sufficient. This one, I would say, this one, after stirring it, it's just barely enough, but it's getting light. This one, there's enough going on in here. There's enough spinning around, so that's okay. And then this one's actually short, right? This is not golden. This is not golden yellow. There's no question that is not golden yellow. That is mostly clear with like a little bit of a pea color tint. So I'm gonna say this needs more food with fairly good confidence. This one could use more food, but we can get away without feeding them, and therefore we will, because of my concerns about water changes. And this one we're gonna leave be. Look at it go. There's plenty of food in here. It's very nicely distributed, and I can see the rotifer colony is continuing to bloom. So we're gonna feed, but we're not gonna feed a lot. I would actually like to feed quite a bit of the thal solution to this, or a bit of the watered down TW1800 into this, but for the purpose of erring on the side of caution, we're just gonna do another nutrition supplement of yeast. Now, this is inverted, right? Typically, you would have the yeast be your main food and some sort of algae concentrate as your supplement. But I've got lots of algae concentrate, and I consider it a better quality food than the yeast is. Therefore, I'm using yeast as my nutritional supplement. Not that yeast is especially nutritious, but it will have different nutritional components than the diatom solution would. So, here we go. And what do we got here? We have about 20 bits of yeast. 20 crumbs of yeast. Or 20 grains, probably is the correct term. So 20 grains of yeast dropped into the rotifer container. And we're going to do 20 in each. You'll remember last time that this is the second time I've added yeast to our cultures, by the way. You'll remember last time I only did 10 grains. Oop, this is too much. I've got about 50 grains on my fingers right now. Or last time I think I did about a dozen grains. So this time I'm about doing double that, maybe 24 grains per bottle. I'm not going to bother to count them, just use a very, very small amount. I'll show you the overhead view of that for fun. So there it is with a little bit of yeast mixed in. Yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting. That now smells like a basement. The smell of the solution is like a basement rather than like sewage, which is what the TW1800 smells like. So that maybe is a good sign. I don't know. And so yeah, here we go. One more supplementation of yeast here. There's a little bit of food because I want to give them a lot of TW1800 right now based on the colors of my previous videos and how well we've been doing here. But when culturing without water changes, err on the side of caution. So that's what we'll do. Oh, look at the... So now that there's no back pressure, the bubbler, all the bubbler pressure went here, and there's no bubbler pressure here. That's kind of funny. But anyways, I'll just show you the overhead view here too. So there it is with the yeast floating around in it now. And then the solution itself. Okay, cool. There's another feed on day 11, I believe. May the 4th be with you.